With a new day comes new strength and new thoughts. A pleasant morning to everyone. As we all are gathered here to celebrate the auspicious occasion of Charaka Jayanti, we welcome you all on behalf of Samhita Siddhanta Department and Nanda Ayurveda College.
Happy Charaga Jayanti to all. On this occasion, let us take a pledge to serve the allying community to be the best of our ability. Let's start our day with a divine call. We would like to call Akshay Prabha to lead us in the prayer.
महागणपति गजानन महागणपति गजानन उमा महेश्वर प्रियनंदना उमा महेश्वर प्रियनंदना महागणपति गजानन गणनायक वंदित चरणा गणनायक वंदित चरणा तव चरणं भयहरणा तव चरणं भयहरणा तव चरणं भयहरणा महेश्वर प्रियनंदना उमा महेश्वर प्रियनंदना महागणपति गजानन ॐ नमामि धन्वन्तरिम् आदिदेवं सुरासुरैः वन्दित पादपद्मम् लोके चरारुक्तय मृत्युनाशम् दादाजमीशं विविधौषधीनाम्
That was indeed an auspicious start. Thank you, Akshaya. Let us now welcome the woman who doesn't need any introduction and well known among all of us for her wisdom and her knowledge. We would like to call her Honorable Principal, Dr. M. Kritika, to share her valuable words.
Namaste all. On this auspicious day, Charaka Jayanti, I welcome all the participants and my dear faculties of Department of Samhita Siddhanta, Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Dr. Lakshmi, and Mr. Shabridharan. And I also welcome on behalf of Nanda Education Institution, our guest speaker today, Dr. Shinita, Associate Professor of Netra Chikitsa Ayurveda College, Amreli. A warm welcome, Madam, and young and vibrant teacher. I saw your photo, but I didn't speak to you through phone or in person. But you look so energetic and vibrant, and hope you give a very great speech, and that will inspire our students on this special occasion. And we know all that Charaka is the only Acharya who initiated this Tadvidya Sambhashana. All his textbooks actually give more importance in Tadvidya Sambhashana, and he was the person for creating so many disciples who gave the liberty to ask questions and who cleared the doubts. So on this day, we pray our Acharya to bless us, and I hope all the students will follow his path in following this Tadvidya Sambhashana. In recent days, this was not happening in many colleges, and I request all the students to have Tadvidya Sambhashana, asking questions and getting answers. Otherwise, it will become one-way teaching. Your teacher teaches and you just listen. You don't ask any question. So the purpose of celebrating this Charaka Jayanti to follow his path. So I hope all the students will follow his path, and we the teachers also a lot and lots to learn from Charaka. And I wish everyone a happy Charaka Jayanti. All the best, and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We would like to call Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Associate Professor and HOD of Samhita Siddhanta Department, to enlighten us about the importance of this day.
Namaste. Today is Shravana Masa, Shukla Paksha Panchami or Naga Panchami. Acharya Charaka is considered as an incarnation of Nagaraja Adishesha. Hence, this day is celebrated as Charaka Jayanti. We know that the contents of the treatise Charaka Samhita was first taught by Atreya and subsequently codified by Lord Agnivesha and redacted by Charaka and later completed by Dridabala. Still, the text is called by the name Charaka Samhita, and that makes the text beautiful. Though the name Charaka is forever in our thoughts, this day is meant particularly to glorify and pay respect to our master for his immense contributions, which are eternal. As part of the celebrations, first we will do Parayana. As Acharya Charaka says, doing daily Parayana with concentration of mind helps in clear understanding, that is Arthavabodha, and also makes us aware of our own mistakes, that is Swadosha Pariharartha. Here for Parayana, we have chosen Vidhi Shonidhi Adhyaya of Yojana Chadushka. The chapter signifies the importance of Rekta and it deals with Rektajanya Roga and its treatment. The Parayana will be followed by guest lecture. Once again, I welcome you all for the program. Thank you.
चतुर्विंशो अध्यायः अतादो विधिशोणितीयम् अध्यायं व्याख्यास्यामः इति कस्माः भगवान् आत्रेयः विधिना शोणितं जातं शुद्धं भवति देहिनां देशकालौकसाज्ञानां विधिर्या सम्प्रकाशिता तद्विशुद्धं हि रुधिरं बलवर्णसुखायुषा युनक्ति प्राणिनं प्राणा शोणितं हि अनुवर्तते प्रदुष्टबहुतीक्ष्णोष्णैः मध्यैरन्यैश्च तद्विदै तदादिलवनक्षारै अम्लै कटुभिरेव च कुलत्तमाशनिष्पाव तिलतैलनिषेवनै पिण्डालुमूलकादीनां हरितानां च सर्वशः जलजानूपबैलानां प्रसहानां च सेवनात् दध्यम्लमस्तु सुप्तानां सुरासौ वीरकस्य च विरुद्धानामुपक्लिन्ना पूदीनां भक्षणेन च भुक्त्वा दिवा प्रस्वपतां द्रवस्निग्धगुरूणि च अत्यादानं तदा क्रोधं भजतां चातपानलौ सर्दिवेगप्रदीगादात् काले चानवसेचनात् श्रमाभिगाधसन्तापैः अजीर्णाद्यशनैस्तथा शरत्कालस्वभावा च शोणितं सम्प्रदुष्यति तदशोणितजारोगा प्रजायन्ते पृथक्विधा मुखपागो अक्षिरागश्च पूदिघ्राणास्य गन्धिता गुल्मोपकुशविसर्पा रक्तपित्तप्रमीलिका विद्रधिरक्तमेघश्च प्रदरो वादशोणितं वैवर्ण्यमग्निसातश्च पिपासा गुरुगात्रता सन्तापश्चादिदौर्बल्यम् अरुचिशिरश्च विदाहश्चान्नपानस्य तिक्ताम्लोद्गिरणं क्लमा क्रोधप्रचुरता बुद्धे सम्मोहो लवनास्यता स्वेद शरीर दौर्गन्ध्यं मदकम्पस्वरक्षया तन्त्रा निद्रादियोगश्च तमसश्चादिदर्शनं कण्वरुक्कोडपिडका कुष्ठचर्मदलादयः विकारा सर्व एवैते विज्ञेया शोणिताश्रया।
शीतोष्णस्निग्धरूक्षाधिक् उपक्रान्ताश्च ये गदा सम्यक् साध्यान सिद्ध्यन्ति रक्तजांस्तां विभावयेत् कुर्यात् शोणितरोगेषु रक्तपित्तहरिं क्रियां विरेकमुपवासं च श्रावणं शोणितस्य च बलदोषप्रमाणाद्वा विशुद्ध्या रुधिरस्य वा रुधिरं श्रावयेत् जन्तुर् आशयं प्रसीमीक्ष्य वा अरुणाभं भवेत् पादात् विशदं फेनिलं तनु पित्तात् पीतासितं रक्तं स्याते रुष्णैरचिरेण च ईषत् पाण्डुकफादुष्टं पिच्छिलं तन्तुमद्धनं संसृष्टलिङ्गं संसर्गात् त्रिलिङ्गं सान्निपादिकं तपनीयेन्द्रगोभावं पद्मालक्तकसन्निभं गुञ्जाफलसवर्णं च विशुद्धं विधिशोणितं नात्युष्णशीतं लघुदीपनीयं रक्तेपनीते हितमन्नपानं तदा शरीरं ह्यनवस्थितासृत् अग्निर्विशेषेण च रक्षितव्यः प्रसन्नवर्ण इन्द्रियमिन्द्रियार्थान् इच्छन्तम् अव्याहतपत्रुवेगं सुखान्वितं पुष्टिफलोपपन्नं विशुद्धरक्तं पुरुषं वदन्ति यदा तु रक्तवाहिनी रससंज्ञावहानि च पृथक् पृथक् समस्ता वा स्रोतांसि कुपितामला मलिनाहारशीलस्य रजो मोहावृतात्मना प्रतिहत्यावतिष्ठन्ते जायन्ते व्याधयस्तदा मदमूर्छाय सन्न्यासास्तेषां विद्या विचक्षणा यतोत्तरं बलाधिक्यं हेतुलिङ्गोपशान्तिषु दुर्बलं चेतसस्थानं यदा वायु प्रपद्यते मनोविक्षोभयं जन्तु संज्ञां सम्मोहयेत्तदा पित्तमेवं कफश्चैवं मनोविक्षोभयो नृणां संज्ञां नयत्याकुलतां विशेषश्चात्र वक्ष्यते
सक्तानल्पधृताभाषं चलस्खलितचेष्टितं विद्यात्वादमदाविष्टं रूक्षस्यावारुणाकृतिं सक्रोधपरुषाभाषं सम्प्रहारकलिप्रियं विद्यात्पित्तमदाविष्टं रक्तपीतासिताकृतिं स्वल्पासंबद्धवचनं तन्त्रालस्य समन्वितं विद्यात्कफमदाविष्टं पाण्डुं प्रत्यानतत्परं सर्वाण्येतानि रूपाणि सन्निपादकृदे मदे जायतेषां यतिक्षिप्रं मदो मध्यमदाकृति यश्च मध्यकृतप्रोक्तो विषजौ रौतिरश्चया सर्व एते मदानत्ते वादकिः पित्तकफत्रयात् नीलं वा याति वा कृष्ण आकाशमथवारुणं पश्यं तमप्रविशति शीघ्रं च प्रतिबुध्यते वेपतुश्चाङ्गमर्तश्च प्रपीडा हृदयस्य च काश्यं श्यावारुणच्छाया मूर्छाये वादसम्भवे रक्तं हरितवर्णं वा वियत्पीतमथापि वा पश्यं तमप्रविशति संस्वेदा प्रतिबुध्यते सा पिपासा स सन्तापो रक्तपीताकुरेक्षणा सभिन्नवच्चा पीतापो मूर्छाये पित्तसम्भवे मेधसङ्काशमाकाश आवृतं वातमोगणै पश्यं तमप्रविशति चिराचा प्रतिबुध्यते गुरुभिप्रावृतैरङ्गैः आर्द्रेण चर्मणा सा प्रसेका सहृल्लासो मूर्छाये कफसम्भवे सर्वाकृति सन्निपादात् अपस्मार इवागता सा जन्तुं पादयत्याशु विना बीभत्सचेष्टितै दोषेषु मदमूर्छाया कृतवेगेषु देगिनां स्वयमेवोपशाम्यन्ति सन्न्यासो नौषधैर्विना वाग्देहमनसां चेष्टा आक्षिप्याति बला संयस्यन्त बलं जन्तुं प्राणायतनसंश्रिता सना संन्याससंन्यस्त काष्ठीभूतो मृतोपमा प्राणैर्वियुज्यते शीघ्रं मुक्त्वा सद्यफलाक्रिया दुर्गेऽम्बसि यदा मज्जा भाजनं त्वया गृह्णीयात्तलमप्राप्तं तदा संन्यासपीडितम्।
अञ्जनान्यवपीडाश्च धूमा प्रधमनानि च शुचिभिस्तोदनं शस्तं दाहः पीडा नखान्तरे लुञ्चनं केशलोम्नां च दन्तैर्दशनमेव च आत्मगुप्तावगर्षश्च हितं तस्यावबोधने सम्मूर्छितानि तीक्ष्णानि मद्यानि विविधानि च प्रभूतकटुयुक्तानि तस्यासेगालयेन्मुहुः मातुलुङ्गरसं तद्वत् महौषधसमायुतं तद्वत् सौवर्चलं दद्यात् युक्तं मद्याम्लकाञ्जिकैः हिङ्गूषणसमायुक्तं यावत् संज्ञा प्रबोधनं प्रबुद्धसंयमन्नैश्च लघुभिस्तमुपाचरेत् विस्मापनैः स्मारणैश्च प्रियश्रुतिभिरेव च पटुभिर्गीतवादित्र शब्दैश्चित्रैश्च दर्शनैः शंसनोल्लेखनैर्धूमैः अञ्जनैः कवलग्रहैः शोणितस्यावसेकैश्च व्यायामोद्दर्शनैस्तथा प्रबुद्धसंयं मतिमान् अनुबन्धमुपक्रमेत् तस्य संरक्षितव्यं हि मनः प्रलयहेतुतः स्नेहस्वेदोपपन्नानां यथा दोषं यथा बलं पञ्चकर्माणि कुर्वीत मूर्छा येषु मदेषु च अष्टाविंशत्यौषधस्य तथा तिक्तस्य सर्पिषः प्रयोगः शस्यते तद्वत् महतः षट्फलस्य वा त्रिफलाया प्रयोगो वा सघृतक्षौद्रशर्करः शिलाजतु प्रयोगो वा प्रयोगः पयसोऽपि वा पिप्पलीनां प्रयोगो वा पयसा चित्रकस्य वा रसायनानां कौम्बस्य सर्पिषो वा प्रशस्यते रक्तावसेकाचास्राणां सतां सत्त्ववतामपि सेवनान्मदमूर्छायाः प्रशाम्यन्ति शरीरिणां विशुद्धं च शोणितं तस्य हेतवः रक्तप्रदोषजारोगाः तेषु रोगेषु चौषधं मदमूर्छाय संन्यास हेतुलक्षणभेषजं विधिशोणितकेऽध्याये सर्वमेतत् प्रकाशितम् इति अग्निवेशकृते तन्त्रे चरकप्रतिसंस्कृते श्लोकस्थाने विधिशोणितीयो नाम चतुर्विंशोऽध्यायः।
Thank you all. We would like to call Dr. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Samhita and Siddhanta, to introduce our guest speaker.
Namaste. Today we have with us Dr. Shinita, working as Associate Professor and HOD in the Department of Samhita and Siddhanta, Netra Chikitsa Ayurveda College. She completed her UG from Sri Sri College of Ayurvedic Science, Bangalore. She did her post-graduation from Government Ayurveda Medical College, Trivandrum. She has been in the field of teaching for the last 6 years. She worked in Government Ayurveda College, Kannur, and Ahalya Ayurveda Medical College, Palakkad. She has also published various articles in Ayurveda journals. She is a passionate teacher and a learner too. I welcome you, madam, wholeheartedly for the section.
Good morning all. Charaka Jayanti wishes to all. I thank Nanda Ayurveda College Principal and Department of Samhita Siddhanta for giving me an opportunity to speak a few words on this auspicious occasion. So let's start the presentation. Can you hear me? Is the audio clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, is the audio clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning once again. Topic of my presentation is a bird's eye view on Charaka Samhita. And I know it's a vast topic, and I'll be focusing mainly on the Purvartha because mainly our students are first year and second year students, I guess. So let's start. Hope the screen is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as you all know, Charaka Samhita is one among the Brahatrayis, which focuses mainly on Kaya Chikitsa. It is an amalgamation of science and philosophy that you find in this text. The currently available text is outcome of series of modification down the ages by Agnivesha, Charaka, and Dridabala. But the currently available text is remembered by the name of Charakacharya. So it might be due to the unique contributions of Acharya Charaka. And this text contains 8 sthanas and 120 chapters in it. But many a times we find that the Charaka Samhita text is criticized for its presentation. That is why there is Veshaja Chadushka in the initial section. Why not Swastha Chadushka? Why is Swasthya Rakshana placed second? Why the medicines used for Panchakarma, why is it placed before the Swasthya Rakshanam or before introducing to the doshas or Sharira or anything? So here I make a humble attempt to explain the yukti for the Adhyaya Kramam in Charaka Samhita. So basically, the text is divided based on the Trisutra, that is Hetu, Linga, and Aushada. The Hetu Skanda is explained mainly in the Sutra Sthana. Hetu or the Nidana part is explained in the Sutra Sthanam. And Sutra Sthana is the first, it is the introduction to the whole Samhita, and the entire science is quoted in Sutra Rupa. Sutras are the short, concise form of vast theoretical explanations. So this is reason why Chakrapani calls Sutra Sthana as the Uttamanga of Charaka Samhita. And here it is the essence of all the sthanas, and it is like a thread which connects the flowers in a garland. Similarly, it connects the whole different sthanas of the Samhita. And it is also considered to be the Madhu Sanjayam of Samhita. That is, the whole essence of Samhita is present in the Sutra Sthana. And it is present in the unique Chatushka methodology. And Chatushka are the tetrads or group of 4 chapters. Actually, there isn't any other Ayurveda textbooks that major textbooks that follow this methodology, that is Chatushka methodology. It's only the Charaka Samhita we can find the Chatushka methodology, not only in the Sutra Sthana, even in Chikitsa Sthana, first and second chapter, there is Pada, 4 Padas for Rasayana and 4 Padas for Vajigarana Chikitsa. And in Sutra Sthana, we have 7 Chadushkas and 2 Sangrahadhyaya. So the total 30 chapters are divided as 7 Chadushkas and 2 Sangraha Adhyaya. And it can be seen that the main aims of Ayurveda are Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshana and Aturasya Vigara Ubashamana. And it is presented through these Chadushka. The Swasthya Rakshana, there are chapters that is exclusively dedicated for Swasthya Rakshana and few chapters that is exclusively dedicated for the Adurasya Vigara Ubashamana from the Sutra Sthana itself. So it makes a special textbook that is exclusively dedicated for the Kaya Chikitsa. So the first aim, Swasthya Rakshana, is mainly described in the Swastha Chadushka and the Annapana Chadushka. And the second aim, Adurasya Vigara Ubashamana. It is further divided into Naidanika part and the Chikitsa part. And Naidanika part or the Nidana part is having Nirdesha Chadushka and Roga Chadushka. They contain mostly the Nidana part in the Sutrastha. And Chikitsa part is dealt in Beshaja Chadushka, Kalpana Chadushka, as well as in Yojana Chadushka. And among the Chadushka, the first one is Beshaja Chadushka. And knowledge of Beshaja Chadushka was first and foremost aspect that mattered for the sages when they approached Indra for seeking the science of life. That is, you find the Ayurveda Avadaranam in the first chapter. That is, Dirgan Jivatiyam, you will find the Ayurveda Avadaranam, how the people in the world were suffering from different diseases and how the sages approached Indra for seeking the knowledge of Ayurveda. So for them, the thing that mattered mainly was the diseases, and they need the aushadha for that. So Beshaja Chadushkam is placed first and foremost. It is like giving food to the hungry person. That is what mattered the most was placed in the first section. So that is why Beshaja Chadushka is placed first, and it is considered. Thank you. So we were discussing about the Beshaja Chadushka, and it is considered to be the materia medica of Aushadha, and it mainly contains 4 chapters. That is Dirgan Jivatiyam, Apamarga Tanduliyam, Aragvadiyam, and Shadvirejana Shadasvatiyam. And in Dirgan Jivatiyam, basic knowledge of Ayurveda, classification of drugs with roots and fruit as the useful part, Sneha Dravyas, Lavana Varga, Mutra Varga, and the 6 Shodhana Vrikshas are explained in this chapter, along with many other basic concepts of Ayurveda. The second chapter is Apamarga Tanduliyam, and drugs required for Panchakarma and the 28 Yavagu Yogas are explained in this chapter. That is, Apamarga Tanduliyam deals with the internal cleansing. And next one is Aragvadiyam Adhyayam. It contains 32 Churna Pradehas for external cleansing, and main diseases that the Churna Pradehas are used are Vadaraktam, Pushtam, Vadavyadi, and Shirashulam. So here the external cleansing drugs are explained in the 3rd chapter. And the 4th chapter is Shadvirejana Shadasvatiyam, where 50 Mahakashayas are explained. So you can make use of this 50 Kashayas in different forms. Even the group of 10 drugs, you can take even one drug and use it in different, change it into different kalpanas and modify and use it. So that is the uniqueness in Shadvirejana Shadasvatiyam chapter. Then next comes the Swastha Chadushka. So procedures essential for the maintenance of health are mentioned in this section. After explaining the Beshaja Chadushka as emergency aid, that is, people were suffering from diseases, so the cure was given first, and Charaka later gives the detailed description of matter which help us to lead a healthy life or maintain a healthy life. And the first objective of the Tantra Prayojanam is attained through this Chadushka, that is Swastha Chadushka, that is Swasti Rakshana. And 4 chapters are included in this section. Matra Shidiyam, which deals with healthy way of diet in the first half. Matravataharam, and its importance is given. The daily utilized food that should be used and that should be avoided are explained. And in the second half, Dinacharya is explained based on the Doshaharatva. Then Tasya Shidiyam is the second chapter. This is application of Matra Shidiyam. That is, according to the seasonal variation, the Tasya Shidiyam or the Dinacharya has to be modified when the Ritu or the climate changes. So you can find the Ritucharya is explained in the Tasya Shidiyam. And the third chapter in Swastha Chadushka is Na Vegan Dharaniyam. So here you can find the description of Dharaniya, Adharaniya Vegas, Aganduja Vyadis, and even Vyayama is mentioned in this section. Then next is Indriyobakramaniya Adhyaya. So it is a unique contribution of Acharya Charaka. After explaining the Ahara, Ajara and Cheshta in the previous section, that is Matra Shitiyam, Tasya Shitiyam and Vegana Dharaniyam, the Ahara, Ajara, Cheshta that has to be followed are explained. And Swastha Adhikaranam will never be complete without addressing the Adiyoga, Ayoga and Mithya Yoga of Indriya and Manas. So when you call a person, when a person is called Swastha, it is not mere absence of disease or physical well-being. The mental and well-being is also important. Also the sense organs has to be kept healthy. So the ways for that is explained in this section, and Sadvrita is explained in Indriyobakramaniya Adhyaya. Next comes the Nirdesha Chadushka. All the aspects of therapeutic are meant both for healthy as well as person afflicted with diseases are described here. That is for Swastha as well as the Adura, the therapeutic aspects are mentioned here. And it describes the factors of pathology as well as the physiology. The pathological aspects are there as well as the physiological aspect, because the dosha concept and its normal functioning all are explained in the 12th chapter. So it starts with the diagnostic methodology, starting to explain with the 4 pillars of Chikitsa, that is Chikitsa Chadushpadam is explained first in this context. So the first chapter is Gudaga Chadushpadam, in which Shodasha Kala of Beshajam is explained. Nirdesha of Shodasha Kala is found in this chapter. Then comes the Maha Chadushpadam, that is application of previously mentioned knowledge is narrated here. That is Mahan, or the higher application of intelligence is required in this. And the prognosis of diseases is mentioned here. Next comes the Trisraishaniya Adhyayam. The Viprakrishta Nidhanam, or the indirect cause for Vyadhi, is explained basically in this chapter for diagnosis of a disease as well as for Chikitsa are mentioned here. And Ashtatrikas are mentioned in relation with this. That is Trivida Eshanam, Traya Ubastambam, Balam, Trivida Hetu, Trivida Aushadam, Chikitsa, etc. are mentioned in this section. Then next comes the Kalpana Chadushkam. Sorry, I left chapters Vadakala Kaliyam. So Vadakala Kaliyam is the 12th chapter of Charaka Samhita, and is in the form of a symposium wherein the Kala and Akala of the Sannikrishta Nidhanas are explained. That is Kala and Agala. Kala means the properties or merits, and Akala means the demerits. So Kala and Akala of Vada Dosha is explained in this. Specifically, Vada Dosha, Pitta and Kapha are also mentioned. So Sannikrishta Nidhanas or the doshas are explained in this section. And one of the interesting things to be noted in this Kala Kaliyam chapter is that Shadguna of Vayu described in Sutrasthana first chapter, that is Ruksham, Shidam, Lagu, Sukshmam, Chalam and Vishadam and also Dharam, is replaced with Daruna Guna. So Ruksha, Shita, Lagu, Vishadha, Dhara and Daruna Guna of Vayu is explained in Vada Kala Kaliyam. So as per the Adhikaran Tandrayukti, in this chapter, Acharya gives the destructive nature of Vayu, the Hinsratmaka Guna of Vayu in the world as well as in the body is explained in this chapter. So that may be the reason why Daruna Guna is replacing the Sukshma and Chala Guna of Vayu in this section. Then coming to the Kalpana section, Kalpana Chadushkam. After explaining physician, medicine, etc. and the Nidana Nirdesha Chadushkam, various therapeutic measures that helps in reducing the tridoshas are explained in this section. basically the Purva Karmas of Panchakarma, the arrangement that has to be made for Panchakarma therapies, collection of all the Upakaranas prior to the Shodhana, how to carry out the different Panchakarma procedures, all are explained in this Upakalpaniya Adhyaya. As it is a Kal Chikitsa text, the Shodhana Chikitsa is given more importance. It is evident from the placement of Kalpana Chadushka prior to Roga Chadushka. Even before explaining the Roga Chadushka, the Kalpana Chadushka or how the treatment is explained here. So that may be because this is a Kaya Chikitsa oriented textbook. And one of the unique contributions of Charaga, that is Swabhava Paramavadam, is explained in this Chikitsa Prabhradiyam or the 16th chapter of Charaga Samhita. As per this Vada, specific cause is required for the production of a specific effect, and discontinuity of the cause, that is when the Nidana stops or the Hetu is stopped, it will lead to the discontinuity of the production of the effect. So when the Hetu is destroyed, the effect is also naturally destroyed. So destruction of an effect does not require a cause, as it is destruction occurs naturally. So that is, body has an innate tendency to return to its normal state or maintain the homeostasis. That is the reason for pradvesha of vriddhi hetu and desire for qualities that are undergoing kshaya. You might have learned in Ashtanga Hridayam also while explaining the Rakta Kshayam, there is Amla Shishira Preeti. So body has a tendency to gain back to its normalcy by desiring for the qualities that has undergone kshaya. So it is having a innate intelligence to come back to its normalcy. So the unique contribution of Charaga, Swabhava Paramavadam, is explained in this section, that is Chikitsa Prabhradiyam. Next is Roga Chadushka. It provides an insight for the basic understanding of the disintegration of Dhatu Satmya or the disturbance in the Dhatu Satmya or the Roga Utpatti, and the subsequent manifestation of innumerable diseases are explained in this section. The Karyam, that is Dhatu Satmya, and the Karana, Dhatu Vaishamyam, are dealt in this section in detail. And there are 4 chapters in this section as well. Kiyanda Shirasiyam, in which Shirorogas, Hridrogas, and Ashtadasha Kshayas, the Madhumeha, Pidagas, and Doshagadi are explained. Then Trishophiya Chikitsa, Trishophiyam Adhyayam, where Shofa, Drosha, Pragrada Karma are all explained. And Ashtaudariyam is the 3rd chapter in this section, where Samanija Vyadhis are explained. The different types of diseases are explained in this. And the next section, that is Maharoga Adhyayam, the Nanatmaja Vyadhis are explained in detail. So next comes the Yojana Chadushka. Each Chadushka is unique or important in its place, but Yojana Chadushka offers uniqueness in conjoining them. They join, or it is application or the yukti behind Chikitsa. So in Yoga Chadushka, we observe and analyze the diseases, and in Yojana Chadushka, we are planning the treatment. So observing the disease, then next comes the Yojana or planning of the treatment. So basically it reveals 2 types of treatment. One is Sandarpana and the second one is Apatarpana Chikitsa. And Shadubhakramas are also included here, but it comes under the preview of Sandarpana and Apatarpana Chikitsa. The main 4 chapters that are included here are Ashtaugadidiyam, where the 8 Ninditas are explained. They are considered to be Nindita, or they are hateful because of the Loga Nindidatva. People find them Nindita, and Nindita Visheshas, only 2 are explained in detail, that is Staulyam and Karshyam, not others, because that is due to the Loga Nindidatva. And next chapter is Langana Brahmaniya Adhyayam, where the Shadubhakramas are mentioned in detail. their gunas, the benefits, the indications, all are explained in detail in the Dandana Pramaniya Adhyayam. Next comes the Sandarpaniya Adhyayam, where the Sandarpanajanya and Avadarpanajanya Vikaras are dealt in detail. And the fourth chapter in the Yojana Chatushka is the Didishonidiyam Adhyayam. And it is a unique contribution of Charaka. Even though he doesn't give the dosha status to Rakta, he gives a unique place in the Sutra Sthana itself for Shonida Varnanam. And diseases like Mother, Moksha and Sannyasa are explained in this section. Then the last Chatushka of Sutrasthana is Annapana Chatushkam, and it contains chapters which explains proper usage of ahara according to yojana or yukti. Based on yukti, the proper planning of ahara, the diet, food steps and their qualities all are explained in the yojana, Annapana Chatushkam. Every treatment with direction for Patyahara, it ends at the direction of Patyahara. A treatment is never complete if you don't prescribe the proper diet and regimen for a specific condition. So Annapana Chatushkam has 4 chapters in it: Yajapurushiyam, Atreya Vadragapiyam, Annapana Vidhi and Vividha Ashita PDM. So these here with this the Chatushka classification ends here, and the last two chapters of Sutrasthana are called as Sangraha Adhyayam or Sangraha Dvayam. Sangraham is the collection or the compilation of the chapters. So Dasha Pranayatiniam Adhyayam, it explains the Dasha Prana Ayatanas, and later on explain the, it is the compilation of the Sutrasthana. The whole Sutrasthana is compiled. Everything that is explained from the Dirganjividiyam till the 28th chapter, everything is mentioned in that chapter. So it is a Sangraha or collection of the Sutrasthana. And the last chapter, Arthe Dasha Mahamuliyam, is the Sangraha of the whole Samhita. The whole Charaka Samhita is concisely presented in the Arthe Dasha Mahamuliya chapter. So next comes the Linga Skandam. So with this, the Hetu Skandam is over. Though there were a few Nidana part that is dealt in the Sutra Sthanas also, the major Linga Skandam starts with the Nidana Sthana, continues in Vimana, Sharira and the Indriya Sthana. So next is Linga Skanda. In that, the first section is Nidana Sthana. So after Hetu Skanda, in the Sutra Sthana, Linga Skandam is better explained in this section. So there are references of Nidana in the Sutra Sthana also, but it is more better explained in this section. And there are 8 diseases that are mentioned in this section. Diagnosis of not nearly 8 diseases, but for several kind of disorders. Though only 8 diseases are mentioned here, 8 main Srodosas are covered, and main Srodo Dushti Prakaras are addressed in this section. So in the light of these 8 chapters, you will be able to analyze other diseases which are not explained in this section. Then Nidanarthaka Roga, Vigara Vighadagara Bhava Abhava, Sangara Vyadi, Nidana Panjaga, all these are first mentioned in Charaka Samhita, and they are the unique contributions of Acharya Charaka, especially the Vigara Vighadagara Bhava and Abhava is mentioned in the Prameha Nidanam of Charaka Samhita. It is unique to Charaka. Then Vimana Sthanam. This section deals with the Manam or Vishesha Manam or the measurements and the standardization. So before now we have studied the Hetu or the Hetus and Lakshanas we have studied. So before starting the treatment, we need to know the drugs that has to be used. Then the Pariksha, the examination of patient is to be done. So Vimana Sthanam, a wide range of subjects are explained in this section, starting from Rasa Vimana, where the Trivida Dravya that should not be used in excess are explained. Then the Rasa and Dosha relationship is explained. Then Ashta Ahara Vidhi Vishesha Ayatanas are explained in this section. The second chapter is Trivida Vukshiya Vimanam. In that, the Ama Pradoshajanya Vyadis, the Trivida Vibhagam of Kukshi and all are described in the second chapter. And third chapter, Janabadodvamsaniya Vimanam. You might have heard about this chapter, which it has gained popularity since the last 1.5 years, since Corona has, the pandemic has hit, because it is correlated to the pandemic. And then Trivida Roga Vishesha Vijnaniyam by Pratyakshanumanam and Aptopadesham, how to assess the patient or examination of a patient based on this Trivida Roga Vishesha Vijnanas. Then Sroto Vimanam, where the detailed description of Srotasas, their Dushti, Nidhana and Lakshanas are explained. Then Doganiga Vimanam, where the classification of diseases are mentioned. Vyadita Rupiyam Vimanam, where Krimi Chikitsa, Guru and Lagu Vyadi are explained. Then Roga Vishagvidiya Vimanam is the 8th chapter, which contains a wide range of subjects starting from the Adhyayana Krama. So Acharya doesn't just explain so many diseases and its treatment, but how to study the text, how to choose a teacher, how to choose a student, how to choose a text, how to study it. All these things are explained. Then later comes the debate part, how to present the Shastra in an assembly, how to do a friendly and a hostile kind of debate. Then the Pariksha section comes, that is Dashavida Pariksha Bhavas and Dashavida Parikshas are mentioned in the Yoga Vishagvidiya Vimanam. So I have concised this Vimana Sthanam because I can't do justice to this presentation by skipping this section, or it needs more time to explain each concept in this, because it is as important as Sutrasthana. It has so many points in this. Wide range of subjects are covered in this section. Then comes the Sharira Sthanam, and in this, the different aspects of human life are explained by Charagacharya, like spiritual, physiological, and anatomical. Then the first chapter is called as Kadida Purishiyam Shariram. In this, development of all the objects in the universe from the microscopic to the macroscopic level, and its relapse from the macroscopic to the microscopic level is explained. That is the Srishti Utpatti and the Pralayam. All these are explained. Then Moksha, Yoga, a description of the Chaturvamshari Tattva, and each Tattva is explained in detail in this chapter. Then this helps in understanding the congenital and behavioral disorders occurring. Then second chapter is Adulya Gotriyam, that is how to select a partner for marriage to beget a healthy offspring is explained here. Then genetical diseases are explained, and ambiguous sex types are also discussed in this section. Then Gudiga Garbhapakranti Shariram, the embryological origin of different parts and the character of individuals are given. So a healthy progeny is the outcome of Shukra, Artava, diet and lifestyle of the mother. The Madhurjadi Shad Bhavas are explained in the Gudiga Garbhapakranti Shariram. Then comes the next chapter, that is Mahadin Garbhapakranti Sharira. So after explaining the origin of the fetus, next the monthly development of the fetus is explained in this section. So by understanding the monthly development of a fetus, you can plan the diet and regimen or the treatment for the Garbhini. What are the changes if when Manas is forming, when Manas or Buddhi is formed, you can administer Grida that promotes intelligence, like Mahakalyana Grida can be advised for the Garbhini, or the initial 3rd months where there are chances of abortion. You can give Grida yogas that stabilizes the Garbha, or Garbha Sthavaka group of drugs can be used. So based on the development only, we plan the diet and regimen. So you can practice you can plan the chikitsa based on this development. The next chapter is Purusha Vijaya Shariram, where the Loga Purusha Samyavada is explained. By observing the yoga you can understand the miniature form of Loka, that is in Purusha. And in 6th chapter, the Sharira Vijaya Shariram is explained. That is analysis of human body, the Bala Vridhigara Bhavas, Sharira Vridhigara Bhavas, all are explained in this section. And understanding of this Bala Vridhigara and Sharira Vridhigara Bhavas, it helps in maintaining a healthy body. And the 7th section is Sharira Sankhya Shariram, where the enumeration of anatomical structure in the body is explained. That is the number of the number of bones, pratyanga, all these are explained in the 7th chapter. And 8th chapter, Jadi Sutriyam Shariram, deals with the menstrual health, diet and drugs causing abortion, its treatment, the intrauterine growth retardation, monthly diet and regimen of the Garbhini, care that has to be taken during the process of delivery, and postnatal care, aparapadanam, and even care of both Garbhini as well as the baby. That is, we can find scientific approach towards the reproductive, maternal, neonatal and child health in a sequential and a scientific manner in this section. Then the last section is Indriya Sthanam in the Purvardha section, that is in the Linga Skandam, the last section is Indriya Sthanam. So now we know the Hetu, that is cause for disease, Lakshanas manifested, and before starting we have understood the Shariram or the Sharira Sthana, the body and mind, Atma, all these things are understood. So the person is, the patient is examined, and his the Shariram is also understood from the previous section. Now, before stepping into the treatment or before starting the treatment, the prognosis of disease should be known. So, Indriya Sthanam deals with conditions which are fatal and having poor prognosis and commonly found in the end stage of life. That is Arishta Lakshanas. They are fatal signs which occur just before the death. So we can avoid treating such patients who have this poor prognosis. And a physician should be vigilant while Arishta Lakshanas manifest. And this helps in calculating the life expectancy of a patient, also in clinical decision making, what treatment has to be made. Then the last section, that is Aushadha Skandam. Aushadha Skandam. Basically, it is divided into Chikitsa Sthanam, Kalpasthanam, and the Siddhi Sthanam. Chikitsa Sthanam again consists of 30 chapters, and the first chapter is Rasayana Chikitsa. It also has 4 padas, that is, it has 4 subdivided chapters. And second chapter is Vajikirana Chikitsa. It also contains 4 padas. So basically, with the first 2 chapters, 2 angas or 2 branches of Ayurveda are being addressed in the beginning of this section. Then it is included in the first section, it is placed before the Jwara Chikitsa because of its Mahafalato, or it has a huge effect, and also it has Rogahara property. So that is why the reason why these 2 sections are placed in front of Chikitsa Sthana, or the prime chapters of Chikitsa Sthana. Then application of theoretical aspects explained in the previous sthanas are dealt in this section. So we have studied the treatment principles in the Sutra Sthana, from the Sutra Sthana, but the application level you will find in this section. And this follows a definite approach in Chikitsa. So from Jwara till the Vada Vyadhi, you will find a definite approach of Chikitsa in Charaka Samhita. That is Avasthanusara Chikitsa is found in Jwara Chikitsa. Marganusara is Chikitsa given in Rakta Pitta, and Doshanusara in Gulma, and so on. Then next comes the Kalpasthana. That is, in Chikitsa Sthana, various Shodhana Aushadhis are mentioned, like Madana Phalam has to be given in this condition, or for Virejana you can use Trivrat. So the properties, their synonyms, their various dosages, their various forms are explained in this Kalpasthana. So different preparations and dosage forms of both emetic and purgative drugs are mentioned in this section, with the therapeutic application in various diseases. So based on the condition, you can modify the dosage, also the form in which the medicine is given. Then the last section is Siddhisthana, the administration of Panchakarma in proper manner results in the Chikitsa Siddhi. So that is for successful treatment, one should administer the Panchakarmas in a proper manner. And this section deals with proper administration of Panchakarma, that is Vamanam, Virejanam, Basti, Nasyam, Niruham and Anuvasnamasti, and the Shiro Virejana Chikitsa. Their Samyak Yoga, Adi Yoga, Yoga, how to be administered, their complication, all these are explained in the Siddhisthana. So also Siddhisthanam, you will get a reference of Uttara Tantra of Charaka Samhita, which might be lost during the ages. There is a reference of Uttara Tantram in this section. Also the Tantra Yuktis are explained in this section. So with that, I conclude my presentation. That is, this Charaka Samhita is said to be Sarva Parishadam Idam Shastam, is said by Chakrapani, Acharya Chakrapani in the 8th chapter of Indriya Sthana. So the flexibility and dexterity of this Shastra, that is, it can be presented in any assembly. So that makes it unique. And there is a definite pattern in which Charaka Samhita is written. That is, as I told in the beginning, most of the time it is criticized for its narration, but there is a definite pattern. That is, Hedu Skanda, Sutra Sthana is explained, Linga Skanda, Nidana to Indriya Sthanas are explained, and in Aushadha Skanda, Chikitsa to Kalpasthana is explained. So, what is expected from a person who studies Charaka is that so Arthajna, Savijaratnya, Sachikitsa Kushala. That is, a person who by hearts this Samhita will be Arthajna. That is, he'll be having the proper theoretical knowledge. Vijaratnyam is the critical analysis of the thing. So once you study the theory part properly, only you can critically analyze something. So for understanding the theory properly, how the scribing of the text, how the chapters are presented, all these things has to be understood. And only a person who is Arthajna and Vijaratnya can be a Chikitsa Kushala. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you. I thank Principal Dr. Kritika Ma'am, Department of Samhita Siddhanta, and staff and students of Nanda Ayurveda College for giving me this opportunity and for the patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now let's take some time for questions now. Participants can raise your questions.
If you have any queries, you can ask in the chat.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we call Jayashree to deliver the vote of thanks.
Namaste. It's a privilege for me to deliver vote of thanks on the occasion of Charaka Jayanti. On behalf of Nanda Ayurveda Medical College, I would like to express my gratitude to the chief partners, Ravi Shanmugan, Chairman, Sri Nanda Educational Trust, Shri S. Nandakumar Pradeep, Secretary, and Shri S. Kirumurthy, Secretary, Nanda Educational Institutions, for their constant support. Now, I would like to thank the guest speaker, Dr. Shinita Madam, Associate Professor and Head, Netra Chikitsa Ayurveda College, for her enlightening session. We have got a glimpse of highlights of Charaka Samhita, and it was thought-provoking, Madam. I thank you, Madam, on behalf of the entire institution. I sincerely express my gratitude to our beloved Principal, Dr. Kritika Madam, for giving us permission to conduct this program and for her constant support and guidance. Thank you, Madam. It's a great pleasure for me to express my thankfulness to Apollo James Sir, Administrative Officer, Nanda Indian Medicine Campus, for his generous help and wholehearted support. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank all the participants who joined here for the session. Now, I thank all the teaching faculties of the college for their enormous guidance and cooperation. I also thank all the students, especially the technical team members and the students who did Parayana, for their enthusiastic involvement. Once again, thanking each and everyone present here. Thank you all.
End every day with a grateful heart. We would like to extend our gratitude to Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Samhita Siddhanta, Dr. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Samhita Siddhanta, and Sabridharan Sir for their guidance in making this celebration for a successful one. We thank each and everyone for your presence today. Shanti Mantra.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
I do believe something very magical happens when you read a good book. Such a feeling is felt when learning Charaka Samhita. May Acharya Charaka shower the blessings on us for the welfare of human beings and to promote a healthy lifestyle.
Stay connected for the upcoming webinars. Until then, it is Rupika Bhaskar, Tejashree, and the entire team signing off. Thank you all.